We are back from a long time with radio silence. I'm back. I'll tell you why it has been such a long time since I made a video and another video. But today we're gonna do something fun. We're gonna build an AI app, very simple but very fun and very creative in hopefully less than 19 minutes. All right. So before we jump in and do that, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. My name is Ben. Nice to meet you. So do that first. You done it? Cool. Let's move on. All right. So today we're going to be building an app where we give an AI model, more specifically the GPT-3 model from OpenAI, or the General Purpose Transformer number 3. We give it some instructions and based on a structure that we will give it, and it will pop out some fun things. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be building a storytelling app. So you know this company that made a lot of movies, it's called Pixar. At one point it was also headed by one of the main guys behind a pretty big technology company that has something to do with a fruit that's not an orange. So Pixar makes a lot of movies, right? Animations and so on. And the thing with Pixar and storytelling in general is that it lends itself very well to play with AI, and specifically a language model like the GPT-3 OpenAI, which is trained on like, I think it's 150 billion parameters or something, right? Which means it's, I wouldn't say smart, but it's fun to play with, and it's quite creative, and it's reiterating and regurgitating a lot of stuff, but you can give it a few examples and it can output you some fun stuff. So we'll get to that in a point, but first of all, here is the structure. So basically all stories, and specifically the Pixar pitch, goes like this. It has 6 parts. Once upon a time, something, every day, one day, because of that, and because of that, until finally the end, right? So if we apply this structure to Finding Nemo, we have once upon a time there was a widowed fish named Marlin. He was extremely protective of his only son, Nemo, and so on, right? So we can put this into the OpenAI playground, and I'm going to give it a prompt, which is sort of an instruction. So let's say write a story about a fish called Marlin, who is looking for his lost son, Nemo. All right, and this will be the story. So here I'm feeding the OpenAI model a prompt, which means an instruction, and here is the output. So I'm defining what that means, and then I'm going to be doing similar things. So let's say write a story about a mushroom robot who takes over the universe. And again, this might be completely bonkers, right? We'll see. But what I need is I need a structure. Okay, so in this scenario, we have only given the model one example, which means it's a one-shot model. You can also do zero-shot models or instructions to the OpenAI model, which means you just give it an instruction without an example. In this case, we've given it an instruction and an output example of that instruction, and then I'm feeding it another instruction, and I'm just saying, story, right? So this is the structure we want it to follow. Let's see how it goes, just from one example. Okay, so obviously I should have increased the response length so we can actually get 6 points. So let's see here. Okay, it gave us, a bit too much, but here we have an example. In a galaxy far, far away, wink wink Star Wars, there was a planet ruled by a mushroom robot. The mushroom robot was very intelligent and had a plan to take over the universe. The robot took over all the other planets in the galaxy one by one, and so on and so on. Okay, so it doesn't really follow the structure, so I'm thinking we should probably give it another example, right? So 2-shot. There's Finding Nemo. What's this? Okay, something about an education crisis. Okay, so let's see, what does he say here? Write a story of an education crisis where every child became a creative thinker and the economy benefited. Okay. write a story about an educational crisis where in the end everyone benefits. All children become independent thinkers. So this is again quite random, but I'm just want to give it another example, and it should improve. It should improve the output. So let's try again. Now write a story about a robot bird with one leg who takes over all forests on Earth. Forests, is that wrong? One arm, I mean. Okay. So let's see. I'm also feeding it now with a little bit of help. Okay. So you can see this needs some training, right? It should be able to do it, I feel like. Okay, here we go. And it should stop at 6. Now it's given me up to 10. So it still has some tweaking to do, but let's read the story. Once upon a time, there was a robot bird with one leg who took over all forests on Earth. Okay, so it gives the story right away. Every day, the robot bird would fly from forest to forest, gathering the seeds everywhere and making sure the forest grew tall and strong. Okay. We'll try again. Once upon a time, there was a robot bird named One Leg, who was different from all the other birds. While all the other birds could fly, One Leg couldn't because, well, he only had one leg. One day, One Leg met a crow, who told him about all the forests on Earth that he could take over if he wanted. Because of that, One Leg set out on a journey to take over all forests on Earth, until finally he succeeded and forests were all his. Okay, as you can tell, we need to tweak this a little bit more, but you get the point. So let's actually take this and go to Bubble to create our app. So now we have sort of functionality in the app. What I have done, have I prepared a little bit? Yes. Am I the equivalent of a no-code building TV chef? Perhaps. So what did I do? Well, I just put this title here and an input field, and I also connected the Bubble API connector to the GPT-3, meaning we can actually do an API call and say, hey, here is our instruction, give us something back. Okay, so that I have set up. It's quite easy, but I don't think we need to go through it at this point. Just want to create the actual app. Okay, so here is where we will give our instructions, and then we will need some form of output. So let me just what's it called? Duplicate. Output. Input. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set up so that we can put a text here, press a button and say, I don't know, generate or something. And then we'll generate a story here from the AI. So that's what we're going to do. So let's start by creating a button to be able to do that. All right. And I want this color. And I want the same, let's remove that style. I want the same border on this, which I think actually is 16. That's what I put, yeah. And I put that in the wrong one. It should be here. This can be white. 6, that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I think I had Arial up above. I don't know why, but the choosing font is always very slow for me. So if you figure that out and why that might be, let me know. Create story. Okay, and let's make it a little bit smaller. Can be like 100 and 639. Okay, let's give it a little bit of margin. Okay, these have 15 margin, I can see. Let's put it in the middle. And that should be it. We should just put it above here, right? Okay. Okay. Maybe we don't actually need an output. We can just do this and let the story be one big text instead. So we're probably gonna have a lot of, okay, let's do 22, and we can do Arial here as well. Okay, wasn't it? Okay, I thought this was Arial. Let me make it Arial. Alright, we can make it fat, meaning bold. Okay, this should be the same width, which was what? Do you remember? I think it was 639. Yep. Okay, min height. So let's now put some text here, and this won't show, but I'm going to be putting this as a prompt. Okay, initial content is this. So what I'm gonna do here is basically just preload a prompt, which was the prompt that we made, and then I'm going to send an API call where this is the beginning of the prompt and the input here is the end of the prompt, and based on that it will do similar things to what we did here, right? And when we click generate, and it'll give us things like this, which we will populate here. So we could just store these prompts in a database. That is probably more clean, but now let's just do it like this for now. So okay, when we click here, we should be able to do an API call. What's it called? The data things. What did I name the? What did I actually name? Okay, so plugins, API connector, use as action. It should actually be okay. Workflow, GPT, completion. Is it called completion? Okay, this is annoying. GPT-3 completion. Okay, so completion. Let's reinitialize this. Okay. That is true. It's called GPT-3. Why is it called one? Completion. And the prompt should not be private. And the tokens, let's just do 250. Okay, so that was Y, GPT-3. Okay, prompt. So the prompt is what? Let's call this prompt. Oh, actually, let's do another one. This is probably, it's not ideal, but let's do, this one is prompt value and inputs value. Okay. Where did I put it? Okay. Let's put it there. Okay, so let's just preview how this looks like. Okay, that works. Okay. Open text. So anytime prompt, let's call this prompt intro, and let's call this the complete prompt. Okay, so I'm just combining our initial prompt plus the input value, and I'm sending the combination as an API call to the OpenAI model, and I'm putting the return here. Okay, so body prompt is prompt, what's it called, complete prompt, right? Complete prompt's value, boom. Okay, and then we will do this. And then we have, maybe we can set state on this. So let's set the state, AI story. State type is just, let's say, text. So when this happens, set state. Set state element. Was this one, right? State, AI story, value, result of the prompts, choices. It should be the first one, text. Okay, let's try this one. See if it works. So this is the most crude version. So write a story about a tall man who destroys the fabric of time. Let's see what we get. Why? Because I didn't put the state in here like a stupid person. Okay. Output texts, AI story. Okay. So that we will do, and we are going to be hiding this. Where did I put that? Where did I put the hide this thingy? This input. Am I blind? Hide. Hide it. Okay. It's in the layout. Layout column. Okay. Let's try again. Write a story about a tall man who destroys the fabric of time. This false, true, what? No. This is not. What is happening? Okay.
A few moments later.
So when I click generate, the prompt is inputs. The prompt is inputs value. And no, the prompt is actually prompt intro value and the inputs value. And okay, set the state. What's happened? Can I just set the GPT-3? I can't set the okay. I understand I made a mistake. Let's try this again. Why is it not working? Come on, it should work similarly to the playground here. So write a story about a sentient broccoli who loves to dance and wins the World Cup in salsa. Okay. Okay, now we're talking. Once upon a time, there was a sentient broccoli who loved to dance. Every day, the broccoli would practice salsa dancing in its garden. One day, the broccoli was selected to compete in a World Cup of salsa dancing. Because of its amazing dance moves, the broccoli won the World Cup. The broccoli was so happy that it danced all the way back to its garden. Okay, so we now have a very rude, or crude, it might be rude as well, but crude version of our story building AI app. So it needs some tweaking, I think. Maybe we can tweak the temperature, for example, the randomness. So lowering results is less random, and I think we probably have, let's see what we have here in the plugin setup. So we have temperature 0.5, let's do 0.9, and what's happening? Okay, and frequency penalty can be 0.7%. Okay, let's try this. So you can tweak it however you want and work with the prompt, but this is the basic setup. So write a story about underground capital called Void, and it's I don't know, rise to power in a post-apocalyptic, how is that spelled, world. Okay, let's see. Once upon a time, there was an underground city called Vode that was home to a small but thriving community. Every day the people of Vode worked hard to sustain their city and keep it safe from the dangers of the outside world. One day, a group of rebels from Vode overthrew the current government and seized power. Because of that, Vode became a powerful and thriving community, and its people were able to live in safety and peace, until finally Vode emerged as a dominant force in the post-apocalyptic world. Okay. Quite flat story, but alas, it is a story. So our mission is complete. We have built our own AI-driven Pixar story generator. So I'll drop a link to this one below, and feel free to try it out. And if you have suggestions for tweaking the prompt or the variables, just let me know and I can do some tweaking. And again, I'm happy you're here and watching this, and it's good to be back. So if you haven't already, subscribe and go to the link below and sign up if you want to be on a waiting list for a sort of an introductory course to Bubble and NoCode in general. Thanks for being here. Take care. Bye.